I go by the name Rev the Artist, aka Devon Redemeyer. I am on a wine journey right now. I'm at one of my favorite places to study wine, drink wine, and enjoy wine on my journey here off of 46 in Sanford, Florida at Tim's Wine Market here with the owner, Steve Butler. Steve, introduce yourself to the people.
Hi guys, I'm Steve Butler. I own the Tim's Wine Market in Sanford, Florida on 46 West. We're a small franchise based out of Florida. The original Tim started in 1995. I was with Tim in that store for many, many years until I bought my own store, and this store has been here 13 years. So we focus on small, very high quality driven, preferably family owned wineries from around the world. I am a sommelier. I'm a certified specialist of wine. And for work, I'm lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones. I taste between 3,000 and 4,000 wines a year for the shop, which is how I met Devon about 2.5 years ago when he came in. And we're taking this part of his wine journey together.
You know what I mean? This is one of the places that I found solace within, the 19 and 20. We all know what was going on. And I told Steve one day I'll be back. And, like I said, I haven't left since. And today, man, we're tasting some good Sauvignon Blancs from around the world, man. We have California, we have South Africa, and we have Bordeaux. I said it back to right and all over the place. But as you can see, we have Bordeaux here, we have South Africa here, we have California here. Steve, tell them a little bit about these wines.
So we're doing a tasting on a flight of 3 Sauvignon Blancs from around the world. So a lot of people aren't familiar with this grape. It's a very old grape. It actually predates the Cabernet Sauvignon grape, which people are very familiar with. So Sauvignon Blanc is somewhere between 400 and 500 years old. Originated in France, but is grown all over the world. So we're doing 3 versions of Sauvignon Blanc. We're doing one that's Sauvignon Blanc based out of France, out of the Bordeaux region. When most people think Bordeaux, they think red wines, but they're very, very well known for their white wines. We're gonna do one from a winery that's been making wine for over 350 years in South Africa, from the Morganson. And then we're gonna do kind of a young upstart, if you will, out of Napa from the Minor family to show the 3 different similarities, but the 3 different differences also.
Nice. You want to taste something, Steve?
Sure.
What we doing?
That's right.
Let's taste. Let's
Cheers.
talk, man. Cheers, man.
Stuff, and they left the Bordeaux Blancs here. But they're great wines, and the prices are relatively.
Hey, how are you? What's up, Lee?
Right there is a clip of me and my cousin Tanith and my Uncle Keith. Uncle Keith is the introduction of my wine journey. Been watching him for years. He's well versed in the wine, Italian, Spanish. He has a few accolades within the wine industry. And he's just somebody great to be around and soak up knowledge from. So hats off to Uncle Keith. Matter of fact, cheers to Uncle Keith.
You drink wine?
Have to learn today.
That's it.
So I grabbed the glass, right?
Grabbed it by the step.
Good.
That's the first step.
The
The first step.
Right.
Grabbing the glass.
Starting off right.
My God.
So the first thing you do is when you pick a glass up, you want to pick it up by a stem. Stemless glasses are really popular now, but traditionally you pick a glass up by the stem or hold it by the foot. I'm more of a stem guy, and you'll see wine snobs, you'll see wine people do this. I'm not into the wine snob thing, but you'll see people do this. Beyond being snobby, this has a purpose. So what we're doing is we're aerating the wine in the glass. We're swirling the wine and we're forcing air down into the glass and exposing more of the wine on the surface of the glass to air so that the wine, we talk about letting the wine breathe. This forces the wine to kind of open up and develop more aromas and more flavor.
I'll never like people say, we will always have something to be talking about. Until I leave this planet, we have something we can hang out about.
This guy's at art exhibits. He's at wine bars. What'd you try? 100%. What'd you try? Sparkling what? What did you try? A sparkling Nebbiolo.
So right there is a clip of me joking with my cousin Alwyn about a sparkling Nebbiolo that he was enjoying on his trip to New York. None of us got to enjoy it with him, so we had to give him a little hard time. Nebbiolo is best grown, the grape Nebbiolo is best grown in northern Italy and Piedmont. home to some of the best Barolos, Barbarescos. Sparkling Nebbiolo was made in the Metodo Classico traditional style, where the still wine is put in a regular bottle, added with yeast and sugar and fermented in that way. And then that's how you get that beautiful rosé that he was over there telling us about.
I didn't even know they made those guys. He said I'm in New York drinking sparkling Nebbiolo. I said, out of here with that foolish. While we out here sweating.
Exactly.
You had to jump in the pool to stay alive.
Exactly.
You've been in there 4 months. I said, you swam in here yet? He's like, no.
And then a couple of days later, I'm in there.
Posting like I'm trying to stay alive.
She's smelling in there, Steve-O.
So on this wine is actually a blend. This wine is 70% Sauvignon Blanc, 25% of a grape called Semillon that isn't that familiar with most American drinkers, and 5% of a grape called Muscadel. Not to be confused with muscadine, which is grown here in Florida, up through the Atlantic seaboard, Virginia, Georgia, Tennessee. Muscadel is an old French grape that is drier. So this wine, your first thing you're gonna pick up, that I pick up, is a little bit of pear drops and beeswax.
100%, I'm getting a lot of beeswax.
So when we talk about these aromas and we talk about these flavors, they're not adding this to the wine. This is natural and inherent to the wine itself. So it depends on where the wine is grown. And as we talk about the 3 wines, we're gonna talk about different flavors, and it's for where the grapes are grown and how the wine is made. So all the aromas and flavors we talk about are not added, they're natural within the production of the wine.
Gotcha. You also got a little bit of lemon drop in there too.
A little bit of lemon drop, a little bit of lemon pledge.
Yeah,
You know, a little furniture polish.
That's definitely in there. I'm getting like a little cinnamon in the back end too, on the back end of that nose. Like faded nutmeg or something like that.
Yeah, very faint.
Yeah, very faint.
Yeah, this wine's not
too.
super aromatic.
No, not too much. I'm gonna go ahead and try it.
Yep.
Would you say it's balanced? Because I feel like that follows through.
I think it's very balanced.
Yeah,
And
everything.
balance is a tough thing to describe, because balance kind of is different. So just like when you cook or when you eat food, you want your salt levels, you want your acid levels, you want your richness levels in balance. And so this wine has great balance, as Devon said, but a very crisp ending. So a little more of a lemon drop, a little bit of a chalky ending.
Right there.
This wine really would do better with a little food. European wines really are designed kind of more to go with food.
100%.
So like if you did this with a little ceviche, if you did this with a little shrimp and lemon butter, this would be awesome with any of your seafoods, any of your white fishes.
Yeah, it's gonna cut right through.
Yeah.
I could see it. Very nice. Definitely be coming back to that.
All right.
Vibes and wines. I got wines and wines because I do music.
Oh, well, that makes sense, incorporating
But if I add you on, what should we change it to?
guineas and Vinnies.
Guineas and Vinnies? So the Guineas is you, the Vinnies
That's
is the
right.
wine.
That's right.
Makes sense.
That'll be like Folly Walnuts. I'll go up there and down.
Let's do it for season 2.
Season 2.
Let's do it for season 2.
Hopefully you make
Episode 7.
That's right, man. I'll hedge my
On the 5.
You can make it
on the
past.
5 episode
You can make it
season.
past season 1.
Yeah?
Well, looks like you're getting a good crowd for the kickoff party.
I don't
You know all
I don't
these
know
people,
none
don't you?
No.
Oh,
I know like 5 of these people.
I know
like 5 of
you.
these people.
I know you.
I know 5 of these. I know my
I
in-laws.
like you brought some Yankee fans here.
I know like my in-laws.
It's making me happy. Like seeing a little Yankee vibe.
He used to live next to the stadium.
Oh shit, we're on.
We're live.
on camera?
We're live.
That's right. Peace.
Nah, we ain't
What
doing
the hell is that thing? Is that
That's the hair.
monitoring my
man.
COVID
Yeah,
from
all of it.
3
Your
weeks ago?
monkeypox, all
Is
that
my
monkey
monkey?
shit.
Shit. Don't point that any lower than midway.
That's it. Up top here. Well, dude, you're only 5'5".
Let's keep it there. I know you got a little area to work with, but
Shit, I'm talking like I'm 6'2". I'm 5'.
Listen.
man.
we all originate from pure living, so this is why we're in the state we're in. So
When you say pure living, they don't even understand what you mean.
it's an insane asylum in the Heathrow. Yeah.
Just like with wine. Wines that you wouldn't think that you maybe enjoy, you end up enjoying. The bitter wines, yeah. It becomes better as time. I just think that's the palate though. that's like, oh, I don't want the sweetness no more. I've kind of grown out of that. Or, I can drink champagne after this. You know what I mean?
Just stages.
Yeah, stages. I wasn't a big fan of champagne. Now I start with champagne, I end with champagne. It's crazy. They'll tell you, Al will tell you, Al is a champagne guy. My uncle always started with champagne. And I was like, I'm just not into champagne as much. But now I feel like before you go into anything, you have to drink champagne. I feel like it's a palate starter. And 4 to 5 bottles in, if you're like at a tasting, I feel like it cleanses the palate, and now you can start new, try some more wines. I feel like it's cool. You like champagne?
I do, yeah. But you know me, I was like loyal to Moscato for a long time.
Yeah, that's the sweet part.
And yeah,
That's the sweet part of Italy. Then you come down to Sangiovese and Barolo and other parts of Italy, and it's like, okay, this is good too. Al said he had a sparkling Nebbiolo. I've never had that. Rosé. So you go from Moscato now, Rosé. You like Rosé? We had the Rosé on Sunday. Amazing. And back then, it might have been too bitter for you. Might have been too dry for you, right?
yeah, back then.
Because it was dry. But it's good. It's a good dry. It's a fruity dry. It's an earthy
definitely,
dry.
like, helped me. I really love like Pinot Noirs.
Yeah.
Like now it's my go-to.
We're right there. And this is a dark Pinot too. This has some age on it. It's from 13, so you can see the age. It's a good Pinot. I like it. So we're doing sight, smell, taste. So I would say this is. This is clear. This doesn't even have no real color to it. It has gold on the trim. This is like pale. You rinsed that cup up? Oh man, it's my cup. Why would I rinse this cup out? Let me ask you, because I don't want
enough water.
pale.
Very,
Huh?
very pale.
Very pale, right?
Light green notes.
Yeah.
Some tiny little yellow notes.
Yeah.
But almost
A little trim of yellow, but very pale, right?
yeah, almost clear.
Yeah, almost clear. When in doubt, say it out loud. So I just wanted to make sure. You don't fully know till you ask. You have to ask. That's how you get better. That's how you learn. It's all the journey. It's all the journey. Ask as many questions as we can ask. Learn as much as we can learn. I don't think you'll ever know enough about wine because they'll keep producing new grapes that keep being found, new grapes that keep being planted. And we just keep learning.
And also known as DMZ. So De Morganson, the family's been making wines on this property for about 350 years. They have a very old wine culture through this area in South Africa. And when the settlers came in from England and the Dutch settlers, they brought grapes with them because they weren't natural to the South African agriculture, and started planting vineyards, and a very old, ancient winemaking history that spans the entire world.
Nice. So what you getting off it? I get, the first thing that jumps out to me is that green pepper.
So one of the classic markers on Sauvignon Blanc is there's almost always a citrus side and there's almost always a peppery, grassy, herbaceous side. I agree with you. I think I'm getting a little bit of that capsicum, a little bit of that kind of green pepper, roasted red pepper.
Yes, sir.
It's not quite as bright as green. But there's also, it smells like someone just mowed the lawn here in the summertime. A little grassy, which is pretty common.
Very grassy.
But yeah, definitely that pepper side is popping.
It's not, like you said, it's not full green, but definitely that pepper jumps out. 60% green to me, in my novice mind.
Yeah.
Definitely smells good. Let's see if it follows through. Definitely follows through.
So what are you getting on the palate?
On the palate, I'm getting that pepper is definitely there. It's definitely prevalent. I'm getting light chalkiness. I'm getting some salinity as well.
Yep, and there's a saltiness to this for sure.
I'm definitely getting the salinity there as well.
So give me a fruit.
If I had to give you a fruit, I'm going maybe like mango skin at first.
All right, yeah, I can see that. There's
like
that little
green,
dustiness.
Yeah, that green mango skin at first. After that, onto there. Give me one more second. way too faded for apple. I even got lime there too, man.
Yeah, there's lime. There's definitely kind of a white grapefruit in there.
I could see that.
I definitely see lime zest for sure.
Yeah, that lime zest is like, that's what was punching me. I was trying to find something else outside of that mango, but that lime was just like right there. So we're good. We can come back to that maybe after it aerates a little bit more, since we just opened these up. Some other fruit factors may come.
Devon made a really interesting point is these wines were chilled down to refrigerator temperature, which is about 34 degrees. And so white wines, most people serve too cold. You should let them warm up a little bit because you get more flavor. So generally we tell people, if you have your wine in the refrigerator, which most everybody does, their white wines, pull them out 20 minutes before you're going to serve them. And your red wines, put them in 20 minutes before you're going to serve them. Let them cool down just a hair. So when Devon says we're going to come back to that, we're going to let the wine open up a little bit in the glass. We're going to let it warm up so more of those flavors come out. So
definitely.
You want to try the third one?
Let's do it, man. So let's talk to the people a little bit about this. I know it's from California, right?
So this is from Napa. This is Miner Family Winery. So Dave Miner, tough life that he had. His father was one of the founders of Oracle Software. So we always joke that if you want to make a little bit of money in the wine business, start with a lot of money. Dave did it the old-fashioned way. He started with a whole lot of money from his dad's business, plus he worked in the software industry too.
Nice.
His aunt actually owned Oakville Ranch, which we do the Oakville wines and the Ghost Block wines from Oakville Ranch. I'm familiar with that. Dave kind of grew up in the wine business and decided that he didn't like software, that he loved wine a little more than he liked punching code and selling software packages. So he started Miner Winery, and he's very into music, rock and roll. You go to the winery and there's guitars everywhere, and when you schedule a tasting, they ask you what your favorite music is, and they play your music while you're tasting so that you have a full wine experience.
Rhymes and wines.
Rhymes and wines, yeah.
May need to.
So this is a Napa Sauvignon Blanc. Now the difference between the other two is this is going to be more about the fruit.
Nice.
So this is going to show more your tropical things. You're still going to get that lemon note, that citrus note, but it's going to be a little less earthy, a little less spicy than the other two.
Gotcha. So initially on the nose, I'm getting like golden honey, apple.
Definitely apple, honey.
And then right under that, I'm getting like a chalkiness. Right under that is like the second blanket. The third blanket, if I had to go, it's like back to that lemon pledge a little bit. Right there. And then,
which is very common with Napa.
Yeah.
So you'll get that.
And then you get that herbaceousness too.
Yeah, there's a little bit of melon rind in this, a little honeydew melon.
Yeah.
Maybe kind of cantaloupe, but definitely showing more of that kind of citrus bend, that lemon pledge thing we talked about.
Yeah.
So that's some of the similarities in these wines, but where they're grown shows the differences too.
Yeah, the
highlights. We're not getting the strong pepper in this one that we saw in the De Morganson in the DMZ.
Not at all. It's super faint.
And kind of the beeswax that we saw and the honeycomb we saw in this one, we didn't see in the DMZ.
Not at all. Not at all. Thank you for pointing that out to the people. It's definitely the climate, everything plays a factor into that, correct? And, and the vineyard as well, what they do there, what else they may have in the area, things like that.
Well, the French have a term called terroir that's kind of hard to describe, but what it means is a sense of place. Where did the wine come from? And some of the more serious wine drinkers, like Devon's uncle, they will taste a wine and be able to tell you where it came from, because the soil, the weather, the surrounding trees. There was a famous winery in Napa called Heights. And Heights, the vineyard was surrounded by eucalyptus trees. And for years, California Cabernet drinkers always said that there was a minty eucalyptus flavor to the Heights cabs. Well, they had an issue, and the eucalyptus trees had to be removed, and people said from thereafter, the wine never showed that. So the eucalyptus pollen, that aroma, if you've ever been around a eucalyptus tree, those spices, those flavors, those smells, impact the way the flavors the grapes pick up. And when they had to tear out those eucalyptus, the wine didn't exhibit that anymore. So that's what we call terroir, sense of place. Basically, what does the wine taste like without man's intervention by barrel or by blending or by additives? What is the purest form of the wine and how it shows is what the French call terroir.
Nice. And this is drinking. This is drinking real well.
Yeah.
Very
This
well.
wine's showing really, really well.
Yeah,
I've sold this wine for years and like this wine. We do some of their other wines too. And this wine's really singing today. And that's one thing. There's wines that, you know, I taste a lot of wines, and sometimes I'll taste a wine and it'll be better than I remember. Sometimes it won't be as good as I remember. But wines kind of will shift based on your mood, based on food you're eating, based on what you taste before it. You're going to see a variation on how those wines show.
It's definitely highlighted, you know, in comparison to other times that I may have tried it. But definitely, this is drinking very well. Cheers to that. Sauvignon Blanc. We're over here off of 46 in Sanford, Tim's Wine Market. If you've never done it, please make your way here. This is one of my favorite places. You can come when I'm here. We're here with Steve Butler, man, the myth, the legend, man. We call it Stems as a joke, man, you know, putting it all together. But this is his. I think he's taking, you know, I've never met the Honorable Tim, but I think he's doing the company a very good service.
Pleasure.
You know, and I'll be here. As long as he's rocking, I'm here. I'm learning and, you know, trying to sponge as much as I can and taste some good wine. Sauvignon Blanc here today, man. Cheers up, Steve-O.
Cheers.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
the fun thing about wine is no matter how much you know, there's more to learn. And it can be as simple as sipping and having fun and as serious as what we're trying to do today. And
Exactly.
everything in between.
And that's what Rhymes and Wine is about, you know. I do music, but I also want to show the other side of wine, and I also want to just show, you know, I want to show the other side of wine, Rhymes and Wine. I do music, so, you know, I want to correlate it, and, you know, I feel like the wine has the same type of journey as the music has. Like I said before, you know, from the beat build up to the lyrics to everything. I feel like wine and music correlate so much more than we know. That's my journey that I'm on while learning about wine, is just to bring both of those worlds together and show how much they mesh. I got guys like this that'll be on my side that'll help me do that, and we'll make it make sense, you know. So hopefully we make that happen along the journey and keep interviewing great people like Steve, and, you know, we're gonna keep having fun with this.
Yep.
Rhymes and Wine, episode 1, man. Steve Butler, the man, the myth, the legend. Cheers.
No, all about you, Devon. Bless you. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
All right.